Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be cleaning up the garden. As you can see, my tomato plants have been killed by the frost and I need to remove them and put these beds to rest. So my plan is I was going to use these hedge cutters to cut my tomato plants, chop them up. They are also tied using this nylon stretchy ties that I used for tying up my tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut in between the ties, and then I will cut the ties off, and then my plants will already be cut, and then I don't have to chop them up later. Just make sure that you do not have the metal post in the way or you will wreck your cutters. So there we go. Now I'll grab my other cutters and just cut this plastic. And I have just an old flower pot to put all these plastic strips that I've cut off into, and then it doesn't get put back into the ground. Okay. I got one more here. And then I have my wheelbarrow ready. Just pull out the plant. And then I can just pull it off in sections. Makes it so easy. I was thinking about this last night when I was laying in bed. Sometimes you come up with the best ideas. I'm going to take out all these tags. So this was the Aunt Ruby tomatoes. I love the production of the Aunt Ruby tomatoes. So I was really happy with them. I didn't really get a lot of Amish paste tomatoes this year, so that was unfortunate. So now we'll go on to the next one. I don't have a very big window as far as cutting these, so I will cut that there. Because they're only 4-inch squares, so you really got to watch how you're cutting your tomato plants, that you don't want to get that metal, cut that metal with these, or I'll have nicks taken out of my hedge trimmers, and then they'll be good for nothing. So this is working really well, and I will just keep going on. And I'm also going to be planting my garlic today too. So I had to get these beds empty to be able to do that. I have all my gardens pretty much have been pulled out. Anything that was hit by the frost, I've taken all of that out. I have left my beets, my carrots, my kale, parsley, rutabagas, celery, and Swiss chard. Also my celeriac, I've left that in as well. So we're going to plant some garlic, and I'm going to start with the red Russian garlic. I've been growing red Russian garlic, seems like forever. This year I will also be growing music garlic. My sister grows music garlic. I've watched other people plant a lot of the music garlic, so I thought I would try it out this year and plant that as well. I'm just separating the cloves of this red Russian. Holy, that did not want to let go. And I bought this at Art Nap in Kamloops, I believe. And they also had the music garlic, so I ended up getting a pack of that as well. so I'm excited to try that. So I'm breaking up all of these heads of garlic into the separate cloves, but I'm not going to take any of the paper husks off of the garlic. I plant the garlic with the husks on. And we'll see how many cloves of Red Russian. I do have some rutabagas on the other side of this bed, and I think I'm just going to plant around the rutabagas because I'm not quite ready to pull up my rutabagas. They can handle the light frosts. We've had as cold as -5 degrees, -5, -6 degrees Celsius. Okay, so planting the garlic. You want to plant it so that the point goes up and the blunt end goes into the ground. You're going to plant it about 2 to 3 inches under the ground soil level. So I'm just going to push it right down in there. Cover that up. And I want it to be anywhere from about, I'm going to plant mine about 6 inches apart. And we'll see how many, if I can get 2 rows. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep track of how many I'm planting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is where I had my Valencia tomatoes and my Oxheart tomatoes, and then I had some basil planted in front of the tomatoes also. That's 11, 12, 13. Go on a second row. 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I had planted 24 of the Red Russian garlic. I'm just going to cover this all up. And then I'm going to do the same with the music garlic. These garlic heads are quite a bit smaller. So let's see how many we get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely not going to have as many as we did with the Red Russian. I had 4 heads of garlic with the Red Russian, and this pack only had 3 heads. And you can plant your garlic anywhere in between September and November. We're at it's October, so let's move over to the other side because I'm not going to have anywhere near as many. And what I'm going to do is I will plant this garlic on the outside edge of these rutabagas. I just have some weeds I want to remove. And then what I'm going to do is I will cover up these garlic with straw. So we're going to do the same here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more is 12. So again, we'll just cover these up, and then I'm gonna get my garlic, or I'm gonna get my straw that I have. I got a bucket of straw, and I'm gonna put a good layer of straw. Now this is the straw that I used. Actually, I will just dump this out. This is the straw that I used for my garlic last year. I shoved it all in these buckets when I pulled it off of the garlic in the spring, and I shoved it in these buckets, and I never ended up using it. So I'm just going to reuse it. I'm going to do quite a thick layer. I have 3 buckets of this straw, so I should have more than enough to do these couple of rows. Pretty good thick layer at this end. Add the rest. Yeah, I just stored this in my garden shed all summer. Okay. And then I'll do the same on the other side. My other bucket. And I just need definitely not as wide of a layer, but definitely want to cover this up. I've even pulled out all my potatoes, so I was happy about that. I have all my squash is in the house, and I have it actually in my living room behind my couch, but it's in a west facing. Oh, I had a tag in there. That was the Asian Tempest. Somebody had asked me what types of garlic I planted, and I'm only doing 2 types. I did the Asian Tempest last fall, and it didn't even amount to anything, so I didn't bother getting that one again. But I've always had good luck with the Red Russian, and I know of so many people that do the music, so I wanted to try that out too. So think I have just enough to finish off this row. Rutabagas, I have 4 rutabagas here, and they're about medium size. Last year, oh my gosh, they were ginormous. I couldn't believe how big they were. So I just want to keep that on this side. I think that should be good. And as long as this side's the one that's protected. I thought I had some in the garden shed, but I don't, so it might be in the chicken coop. And you just need to get some more straw. This one is taken out except for my one kohlrabi is still in there, and it is doing just fine. These carrots are the Scarlet Nanty carrots with the bull's blood beets. My celery is still looking great. All of this has been pulled out except for my thyme here in the corner. I have left that to overwinter. I pulled out my dill and my sunflowers, but this is just all my asparagus fronds. Left some onions here in the ground. I am just going to leave those onions in the ground and overwinter them, and they will come up again next season. This is all out. I have left this lettuce. So we have some romaine lettuce, and then that is prize head lettuce that I planted, and it still seems to be doing okay. There's my dwarf green curled kale. That is still fine to be outside. I have carrots here. These are the Danver half-longs, and then in behind those carrots, they're the Crosby carrots. I was going to say the Early Wonder, but the Early Wonder were over in that other bed. So I'm going to leave these in for a little bit. We're not supposed to get below 0 for the next week, so we are fine. Here we have a flat leaf parsley and my curled parsley, leaving that in. There's some dwarf carnations. I clipped back all of the Asiatic lilies. In the middle was my monkshood, clipped all of that back, and also my bleeding heart. Over here we have some radishes still in the ground. In front of the radishes is the Hikiri salad turnips. And then over here is the celeriac. And I will be taking out one of these heads of celeriac because I'd like to chop it up and roast it with some roasted vegetables. And then over here we have the golden Detroit beets, and also these are the Danver half-longs. These are the Danver half-long carrots. If we come over here, I still have all of this to take out of the garden. Those were my zucchinis, a couple of tomato plants, the squash plants, some sunflowers. I have a green cabbage, and then I have all those red cabbage. That pile of stalks or plants, dead plants in the back corner, that's from my potatoes. I dug up all the potatoes, and that was the Christina in the back, and then the Jennifer potatoes in the front. So this is all I'm going to be doing for today. I have quite a bit to do in the house as well. I also remembered this year to grab my red onions out of the shop after I pulled them out of the ground too. 2 years ago, I forgot them in the shop and they froze. So anyways, thanks for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you liked the video, put a like in there, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.